बंगाल की हम लोगों ने बात की। अब हम लोग बंगाल के थोड़ा और पूर्व में जाते हैं। असम, मणिपुर, मेघालय, त्रिपुरा की बात करते हैं, अरुणाचल की बात करते हैं, नागालैंड की बात करते हैं। मणिपुर में पिछले 1.5-2 साल से कंटिन्यूअस वायलेंस हो रहा है। वहां हिंदुओं की एथनिक क्लींजिंग हुई है। डिफैक्टो क्रिश्चियन स्टेट का ऑन ग्राउंड बना दिया गया है और आज की तारीख में फिर प्रेसिडेंट्स रूल अब फॉर्मली उन्होंने लागू कर दिया है। मणिपुर में ये सब क्यों हुआ, आगे क्या होना है, उसके बारे में रिक बनर्जी ने बहुत रिसर्च किया है, बहुत काम किया, वहां के एक्टिविस्ट से बहुत मिले हैं, बात की है। तो रिक, आप बताइए कि मणिपुर का क्या स्थिति है, वहां क्यों हुआ ये सब और आगे क्या होने वाला है? व्हाट डू यू एक्सपेक्ट, आगे क्या होगा?
जी, just 1 minute. I'm looking forward to listening to him. He is really an encyclopedia. But हमारे यहाँ एक मायके भी आए हैं और यदि आप सही समझें तो पैनल पे उन्हें भी बुला लीजिए। मणिपुर के मायके हैं, so he should also add. Please stand up.
खुरम जली, आइए। कैप्टन सर, कैसे हो आप? प्रणाम। And he is an active serving. I'm retired 100%. सब कैसे? कैप्टन साहब, आप पहले बोलोगे या मैं?
अभी आप शुरू कर दो।
अच्छा।
फिर उनके।
तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट नॉर्थ ईस्ट, अगर मैं उत्तर पूर्वी भारत क्षेत्र का बात करूंगा तो मैं सबसे पहले आप लोगों को यही बात बोलूंगा कि इस क्षेत्र को आप लोग उत्तर पूर्वी भारतीय क्षेत्र बोलना बंद कर दीजिए। आप इसको बोलिए हमारे भारत का क्षेत्र, एंड वी हैव टू सी दिस पार्ट एज अ ब्लॉक। स्ट्रेटेजी के हिसाब से वेस्ट बंगाल, उत्तर पूर्वी भारत और बांग्लादेश की नॉर्दर्न ईस्टर्न पार्ट, इसको वी हैव टू सी इट एज वन स्ट्रेटेजिक ब्लॉक। दिस इज वन ऑफ आवर बिगेस्ट ब्लंडर, हमारा सबसे बड़ा। मणिपुर हो या नॉर्थ ईस्ट का कोई भी वायलेंस हो, उसका सबसे बड़ा रूट कॉज यही है क्योंकि हमारा थिंक टैंक इज ट्राइंग टू सी कल्चरल एंड सिविलाइजेशनल इश्यूज थ्रू अ एथनिक लेंस, थ्रू अ लिंग्विस्टिक लेंस। सभ्यता या संस्कृतिगत जो समस्या है, ईसाई मिशनरी का उत्पात हो, इस्लामी जिहाद हो, इनको ये लोग देख रहे हैं या तो पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम, या तो भाषा का प्रॉब्लम, या तो जातिगत प्रॉब्लम। इससे क्या हो रहा है, समाज और टूट रहा है, बिखर जा रहा है, एक नहीं हो रहा है। तो दिस इज अ मेजर प्रॉब्लम। तो सबसे पहले अगर आपको देखना है, योर पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट एंड नेशनल पॉलिसी स्ट्रेटेजी हैज टू इंक्लूड दिस एंटायर रीजन एज वन ब्लॉक। डज नॉट मीन यू पुट द सेम सॉल्यूशन देयर, बट एटलीस्ट सी दिस एज वन ब्लॉक विच यू हैव टू सॉल्व। पहला बात। दूसरा बात है, मणिपुर में जब हम लोग समस्या देखते हैं, मणिपुर 1.5 साल से नहीं जल रहा है। मणिपुर हैज बीन बर्निंग सिंस 1992। ये जो तथाकथित कुकी बोलते हैं, दिस इज नॉट एन आइडेंटिटी, दिस इज अ South Central Tibeto-Burman is a language family created by the British Western researchers. उसमें 50 languages आता है जो सिमिलर है, सेम नहीं। There is a difference between same and similar. उसको ये लोग क्या किए, मिशनरीज ने आर्टिफिशियल आइडेंटिटी बनाने के लिए, समझ लीजिए 20 लैंग्वेज कंबाइन करके उनको एक आइडेंटिटी दे दिया कुकी, 30 कंबाइन करके आइडेंटिटी बना दिया कुकी चिन, 50 आइडेंटिटी कंबाइन करके बना दिया कुकी चिन मिजो, फिर उनसे बात नहीं बन रहा है तो उसको शॉर्ट करके बना दिया कुकी जो, ताकि दोनों को रहे। अब इसके बाद और आइडेंटिटीज आ रहा है और दीज आर डन प्योरली विद द इंसिस्टेंस ऑफ वेस्टर्न एकेडेमिया और वेस्टर्न चर्च। इनके तो लोग जो बोलते हैं चर्च के रोल नहीं है, रोल कैसे नहीं है, द एंटायर बौद्धिक थॉट लीडरशिप इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द चर्च कॉन्सेप्ट। अभी दूसरा बात है, कुकी का बात जब आप करते हो, दिस इज नॉट अ कुकी माइती इशू। 1992 से अगर 2023 तक हम लोग देखें, 10 नरसंहार किया है ये 50 भाषा बोलने वाले जनजातियों ने। 1997 ब्रू रियांग चाकमा 70 से 80 हजार विक्टिम्स। 2003 दिमासा और मार 6 से 7 हजार विक्टिम्स। दैट वाज ऑर्केस्ट्रेटेड बाय रोचुंगा पुदाइते, यूएस का फंडिंग लेके, एंड दैट वाज कोऑर्डिनेटेड थ्रू इंडो बर्मा पार्टनरशिप मिशन सोसाइटी लोकेटेड इन चूराचांदपुर, मणिपुर का सीएल मात में। और मजे का बात यह है कि वो पार्टनरशिप अभी भी गवर्नमेंट फंडिंग में ऑन चल रहा है। सो दिस इज वन थिंग, सो दिस इज द थिंग। फिर और अगर देखोगे, सिंहासन हिल्स में कार्बी लोगों के साथ जो 2003 में प्रॉब्लम हुआ, ये प्रॉब्लम में भी 35,000 एस्टिमेटेड, डॉक्टर अंकिता दत्तो सेज estimated Hindus were displaced within the first day of the violence. They launched a full-fledged military operation called Operation Volcano. उसके बाद भी त्रिपुरा में अगर देखा जाए, त्रिपुरा में ये जो ब्रू रियांग चाकमा को लोगों को जो डिस्प्लेस किया है, एक साइड था सुब्राई खोंग बोल के, सुब्राइज खोंग मतलब महादेव नाक ये बोल के, और त्रिपुरा में उनाकोटी में आप जाओगे, अजंता इलोरा के तरह मीलों से ब्यूटीफुल देवताओं के स्कल्पचर है। वहां पे ये कहावत है, जब महादेव देवताओं को लेकर कैलाश जा रहे थे, देवता थक के सो गए थे महादेव के मना करने के बावजूद, तो महादेव उनको शाप दिए थे कि तुम लोग यहीं पत्थर बन जाओ। तो वहां पे आप हर एक देवता का मीलों से रास्ता देखेंगे, उसका कोई संरक्षण तो दूर, उसको तोड़े गए। और सुब्राई खोंग में सबसे बड़े हिल जो था, उस पे महादेव का जो मूर्ति था, मिजोरम से बाहर के लोग आके वो एकदम डस्ट में मिला दिए, जैसे मणिपुर में किए। ये मैं हिस्ट्री में इसीलिए जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि पीपल शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज नथिंग न्यू, एंड द पॉलिसीज विच वी जो पॉलिसीज अभी ये लोग लगा रहे हैं, दैट इज ट्राइड एंड फेल्ड पॉलिसी, वही चीज लगाया जा रहा है। तो उसको डस्ट में रिड्यूस कर दिया और उसका नाम चेंज कर दिया बेथलिन चिप। अब बेथलिन क्यों आप लोग समझ ही सकते हैं। तो उसके बाद आप लोग देखिए, ये सुब्राई खोंग के बाद उस समय वहां पे धीरे धीरे डेमोग्राफिक चेंज किया, और अभी 2020 में जब त्रिपुरा सरकार बोल रहा है कि हमें मंदिर बनाना है, मिजोरम सरकार पुलिस डाल के रेजिस्टेंस दे रहा है। तो दिस इज अ फुल फ्लेजेड इकोसिस्टम वर्किंग देयर। तो मैं एक्चुअली आई हैड ब्रॉट सम एजेंडाज एंड सम पॉइंट्स एंड एक्शनेबल्स, तो आई वुड मिक्स एंड मैच दोनों को मिला के। तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में देखा जाए, सारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में व्हाट वी नीड फर्स्ट इज वी नीड इंटेलेक्चुअल्स। आप लोग कैसे सपोर्ट कर सकते हो? वी नीड इंटेलेक्चुअल्स, वी नीड रिसर्चर्स, वी नीड इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया। नॉर्थ ईस्ट में मीडिया के ऊपर जिस तरीके से वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट, नॉन स्टेट एक्टर्स इनडायरेक्टली, और मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, लोकल पॉलिटिशियंस के करप्शन और वामपंथियों का जितना बड़ा होल्ड है, उतना त्रिपुरा या बंगाल में कभी सपने में भी नहीं था। एवरी सिंगल एक्टिविस्ट यू मीट फ्रॉम दीज एरियाज विल टेल मी, गिव अस एन इंडिपेंडेंट प्लेटफॉर्म टू स्पीक, गिव अस एन इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया टू स्पीक। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो आप लोग अगर कुछ करना चाहते हो, द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग विच वी कैन डू इज स्टार्ट एस्टेब्लिशिंग इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया। उसका गोल क्या होगा? कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होता है नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, इट इज डिरेल्ड इन द नेम ऑफ एथनिसिटी एंड लैंग्वेज। सिस्टमैटिकली इनको 100 या 150 साल से one of the intellectuals, Bimal Akoijam, Dr. Bimal Akoijam had made a wonderful article telling identities were fluid, how they became rigid by the British intervention, and how current politicians, even their own local politicians, are taking advantage of British policies because they proved very effective in suppressing people and getting benefits out of them. तो local politicians भी यही कर रहे हैं। तो these policies, इसके against we need to promote common cultural and civilizational values and common code of conduct. This is something which is never being done. जैसे मणिपुर में अभी बोल रहे हिंदुइज्म, सनामाइज्म, what does it matter? We all respect our own ancestors. We all respect our nature. We all respect manifestation in various forms. We all respect polytheism and other dharmic faiths. Just follow these fundamental values. इस चीज को प्रमोट करना बार बार जरूरी है। असम में इतना संकट है, लेकिन असम में अभी भी पीपल आर प्रायोरिटाइजिंग एथनिसिटी, और इसका फायदा ये लोग उठा रहे हैं। लैंग्वेज इट इज इजी टू लर्न, यू विल बी अमेज्ड। आपको अगर कोई बोले कोई फ्रेंचमैन हिंदी सीख के भारत में आके भारतीय बन गया है, यू विल लाफ एट मी, बट दिस इज द रियलिटी इन असम एंड मणिपुर। आई थिंक कैप्टन सर कैन कंफर्म मी। लैंग्वेज हैज बीन वेपनाइज्ड बाय illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, Sri Hotto and these parts. In fact, one video came during Waqf resistance, Maiti Pangals so-called, okay, Pangals, Muslim residents, they were shouting about this. The Bengali they were speaking comes from Sri Hotto and Mymensingh, and these were not spoken by the native Bengali speakers. This is mostly spoken by the Bihari Muslims who were shifted during 1947 there, and who formed the core of Al-Badr, Al-Shams and the Razakar Brigade, responsible for the genocides of 1950, claiming more than 4.5 million Hindu victims displaced, 500,000 dead. 1964, 377,000 displaced. Sources later maybe we can discuss. 1971, 6 to 7 million displaced, 2.5 million to 3 million dead. तो ये लोग वहां पे जाके स्थानीय मूल निवासी बनके, इंडिजिनस बनके यहाँ पे ये बात कर रहे हैं अभी। एंड सबसे बड़ा बात है, इम्फाल वैली का इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, इम्फाल वैली का 2% प्रॉपर्टी वकफ का है, पता है, एंटायर इम्फाल वैली का, और वो केवल इम्फाल वैली में ही है, उसके बाहर नहीं है। और चर्च और इसका नेक्सस आपको मेघालय में दिखेगा। द फर्स्ट फुटप्रिंट इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट इट केम थ्रू मेघालय। खालिदा जिया Salahuddin Ahmed. He's one of the top leaders. He put this thing and he made an alliance with the church. Salahuddin Ahmed was arrested in 2015 while taking illegally treatment from a church-sponsored hospital in Shillong. He was the head of ISI. So this is the way. So there is a church Islamist cooperation throughout there. तो ये जो चर्च वर्सेस इस्लामिस्ट हम लोग बोलते हैं, इट्स नॉट देयर. दे हैव मेड दिस कोएलिशन बाय 1991, वही बना दिए. तो मणिपुर का ये जो प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो रहा है, व्हाट इज दिस? अब मणिपुर का डेमोग्राफिक स्टडीज करना चाहिए और लैंड स्टडीज करना चाहिए डिस्ट्रिक्ट के हिसाब से. तो वी हैव डन दैट टू आवर कैपेबिलिटी, जितना डेटा अवेलेबिलिटी है बेस्ड ऑन दैट. व्हाट वी फाउंड कि 1951 से ही देयर हैज बीन ह्यूज इलीगल इमिग्रेशन, स्पॉन्सर्ड इलीगल इमिग्रेशन, एंड बाय 1988 द आइडिया ऑफ अ कुकी नेशन और a Christian, what do you call, a Christian Pakistan in the East, that has been there. P.S. Haukip, one of the intellectuals, he wrote a book called Zalingam. Roughly it means land of freedom, but he uses the word in his first page very carefully. He uses Lebensraum for Kuki, Chin, Mizau people. Means basically it will act as a homeland for the native people and all the intellectuals. I would like you to see some videos for them. Mafeli Lwando, she's a politician of Zoram Thar party, Mizoram politician, church-backed politician, and many other Amatia pastor, Mizo pastors. They have made it very clear that if this nation happens, human rights or religious places, respect of religious places for non-Christians or other people will be the least of their concerns. In fact, the more disturbing thing is that we all know that thousands of temples they destroyed, 1150 home temples in Churachandpur alone. Then an entire ecosystem. I wrote an article called Departure of Deities. I don't know what else to tell that. वहां जाके हम लोग देखे 50 से 70 किलोमीटर का कोब्रू हिल जो बोलते हैं, it is not a hill. It is an entire protected reserve forest. मणिपुर का बसुधरा वाटरफॉल्स, ये सब चीजें, इनके स्थानीय सभ्यता. It shows the beautiful convergence of Sanamahism and Hinduism together based on common values. That is what we need. वो चीज को सिस्टेमेटिकली 2000 से ये लोग जंगल काटने से शुरू करके जला के पूरा राख कर दिया. अब वहां जाके आपको कुछ नहीं दिखेगा. जो बड़े बड़े मंदिर थे, कोब्रू महादेव का और वहां पे लाइमाखोंग के साथ महादेव का मंदिर, सब अटैक किए. और वो पहले 2023 मई में ही अटैक किए दोनों मंदिर. कोई मतलब, और उसके कहानी जितना कम बोले उतना सही है. तो व्हाट वी सी इज अ लार्ज स्केल इरेजर और क्लेंजिंग ऑफ नेटिव कल्चर packaged as ethnic cleansing, and this is what is happening in Manipur. तो मणिपुर में आप लोग अगर स्पेसिफिक वायलेंस में बोलोगे, I won't go into the numbers. Many people have gone into it. I would like to address the root issues here. The root issue is स्टेट हो या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हो, दोनों बोल रहे हैं the refusal to take military action against it. Somebody has to come clean, so I will do so. Local politicians, irrespective of community, are deeply involved in cheating their people, land grabbing, as well as they are deeply involved with all varieties of insurgent groups which are working at the, like, with the button, push of a button of a remote control of various foreign agents. So in this case, what we see is that they are acting as a paralyzed entity. ये जो MEA का statement था कि this is a mere ethnic violence. On June 4th, 2023, the Gorkhas, 63,700 population there, they wrote a letter to JP Nadda clearly stating that we have been cleansed from 3 districts and our population is suffering everywhere. So how is it a mere ethnic conflict? Bengali people, Ador Das from Serau, other people, I have interviewed many of them. What they tell is a harrowing tale of ethnic persecution, tension, economic discrimination, all kinds of things. So what we see is that this ethnic tension narrative has to go. This is a full-fledged invasion funded by foreign money, supported by communities willing to be the geopolitical tool of foreign nations, and being done at the behest of a global church ecosystem. This has to be the problem statement. The problem statement ये जो बोलते हैं हमारा समस्या क्या है, that itself people are lying. So this is a major problem. So as long as this lie does not go, I don't see any real solution. इसमें मुझे कोई समस्या का समाधान नहीं दिखता. उसके बाद अगर आप देखोगे उसके अंदर जाके, why are you not taking military action against them? this is a major question. If you take the question is that if we take military action, there will be large scale instability. The politician, this nexus is too strong. My question is, if you don't take now, how do you expect to weaken this politician church and nexus, terrorist nexus? This will only going to get stronger as their population goes. तो आप अगर अभी एक्शन नहीं ले पाते हो, बाद में कब लोगे? This is a question which nobody has answered. और तीसरा बात है, अगर कोई भी बोलता है कि केवल मणिपुरीज आर बीइंग अटैक्ड, नो इट्स नॉट. 1995 कुकी तमिल वायलेंस, अंगला परमेश्वरी मंदिर ये लोग छोड़े नहीं, मोरे का डेसिक्रेट किए. इन्होंने क्या हुआ, एक बिजनेसमैन का 7 साल के बच्चे को उठा के मर्डर किया था, वो लेके मर्डर भी इन्होंने किए, दंगे भी इन्होंने किए, अब विक्टिम कार्ड भी इन्होंने खेल रहा है उसका. और मॉर्निंग मार्केट बंद करने के वजह से तमिल पॉपुलेशन मतलब literally got wiped out. 90% of the Tamil population in Moreh got wiped out, forcibly displaced within 1 year, tens of thousands. तो ये सब अगर आप देखोगे तो I don't know what to say when a government knowing all this data does that. और तीसरा बात है buffer zone. Buffer zone is a tried and failed concept. I think MNRG can back me up. This is a concept tried at Singhasan Hill during Operation Volcano. This is a concept which was tried during the Mar-Dimasa conflict. All of these conflicts went for months. And the biggest danger came जब हिंदू लोग retaliate भी किए दिमासा का. They were retaliating at them purely for self-defense. Coordinated था लेकिन self-defense. ये लोग जब retaliate कर रहे थे, they were targeting the cultural evidence. जो हिंदू evidence है sites, they attacked systematically कि historical evidence मिटा दिया जाए. So if this is not ethnic cleansing, I don't know what else. तो ये टाइप के चीजों के अगेंस्ट आप अगर बफर जोन या ये लगाओगे, प्रॉब्लम क्या होगा? मणिपुर में सी इम्फाल एरिया कुकी चर्चेज आर स्टैंडिंग, दे नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ साइट्स आर देयर. आप वहां पे जाओगे, खुमुजंबा पुंग जहां पे पहला हिस्टोरिकल साइट था माइकेई खुमलेरी जंबा का आने का, मिटा दिया, डस्ट, रिड्यूस टू डस्ट. एवरी सिंगल माइकेई नागपा मेजर श्राइन बर्बाद कर दिए. एक्सप्लोसिव्स, बुलडोजर्स लाके पूरा इलाके बर्बाद कर दिए. तो ये सब हुआ है इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ अ स्टैंडिंग पुलिस फोर्स एंड अ स्टैंडिंग आर्मी. दिस अगर इसके बाद सवाल नहीं पूछे, कल इनके साथ हो रहा है बंगाल में, मुर्शिदाबाद में, हम लोग के इलाके में भी हो रहा है, कल हम लोग भी क्या देखेंगे? अगर कोई फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट बीजीबी आए, हम लोग को लड़ना पड़ेगा अकेला, सरकार क्या करेंगे? ऐसे देखेंगे जब डिस्प्लेस्ड लोगों का होगा. दीज आर सम क्वेश्चंस वी हैव टू आंसर. और इसका कोई पॉलिटिकल सॉल्यूशन मुझे दिखता नहीं. द ओनली सॉल्यूशन आई सी रियली इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट. और मणिपुर के साथ साथ मेघालय का एक सिचुएशन आपको बोलूंगा. मेघालय का इकलौता स्टेट है जहां पे हिंदुओं का अंतिम संस्कार नहीं करने दिया जाता है. यू हैव टू गेट अ स्टेट हाई कोर्ट परमिट टू डू अंतिम संस्कार. हाँ, बट द डिफरेंस इज अरुणाचल में डोंगरी पोलो और हिंदू पॉपुलेशन 56% अभी भी है, साइजेबल. तो वहां पे आपको उतना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं मिलता जितना मेघालय में इनके जो दौरबाश नोंग बोलते हैं उनके थ्रू जितना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन मिलता है, वो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इज मतलब इट इज समथिंग एल्स. मेघालय में जैसे आप 1979, 1987, 1990, 1992 there were 4 major mass murders and there was a BN Sharma commission report which is still lying in the cold freezer. उस पे ये लोग डॉक्यूमेंट किए थे और इसके हिसाब से मतलब 100,000 के ऊपर अनअकाउंटेबल हिंदू लोगों का हो जाता है इरेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कम्युनिटी. तो यहाँ पे भी वायलेंस सब सेम हुआ, कम्युनिटी वाइज टारगेटिंग. तो हम लोग अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में देखें, सबसे पहले हमें ये बोलना पड़ेगा वी हैव टू डिफाइन कॉमन कल्चरल एंड सिविलाइजेशनल वैल्यू एंड शो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. लेकिन neither local politicians nor local media nor anybody will help us. In fact, when you try to go to work, people will stop you and kill you. Athuan Abunmai, one of a very prominent activists, in 2021 was brutally murdered with a hammer to make an example out of it by NSC and terrorists. He was trying to expose,
ये कहाँ
Manipur
हुआ? Which place?
Tamenlong, right? Athuan Abunmai? Yeah, Tamenlong. It's in northeastern Manipur. तो ये इसके बाद तो दिस मर्डरिंग एंड दिस सिचुएशंस वी नीड सपोर्ट इन द इंटेलेक्चुअल स्फीयर फर्स्ट. That this narrative has to be put. We need independent researchers and we need people to visit. One request, if you ask for specific policy, please make a dharmic corridor connecting Kamakhya, Tripureshwari and Meghalaya Nartiyang, the Shakti Peeth. These 3 corridors, it would give a lot of courage to people there. Hindus are resisting. Jovai, Minthidu, Natyang, the Brahmins, they are still there. Right from the Jayantiya period, they are suffering horrible persecution. But they have kept Dharma alive. So they need people to see these things. They need people to go there. So these dharmic corridors there. In Arunachal, strict enforcement of the 1978 anti-conversion law. In Manipur, granting equal land rights. And yes, one thing, why are we still treating a part of our Bharat as a guinea pig for administrative experiments? The British did that. The separate administration dates back to 1873. British administrators did that. So why are our bureaucrats now doing this kind of thing? Where is the overreach program? Where is the ground level activism? And regarding Sangh, I would just say one thing. Find me one major activist from the Sangh, because their way of operating has a lot of flaws which does not fit well in this region. In fact, the Sangh has become a straw man argument to term legitimate Hindu causes as rubbish and nonsense, which is being weaponized by there. So unke Sangh has a presence in Guwahati, but they do not have a very strong presence in other parts of there. And neither will you be able to do, see, you can do it 2 ways, either through intellectually, which they do not have. They do not have the backing of the intellectual thing. Or you can have through muscle power, which you cannot do against that level of militarization and combat things. Sangh likes to say we are strong, capable. Maybe they are strong with civilian forces, not with the forces they are facing. So we need intellectual backups there. We need some legal reforms there. And we need a new policy. These administrative forms will be taken, has to be taken away. In this, regarding this policy we are working, we will try to make a major policy discussion and policy document in near future, and this we will publish it, self-publish or put it there and send to relevant people with suggestions on how to deal with this, how to see this society through a Bharatiya lens, not through a colonial lens. Assam, Yogini Tantra, you would be amazed to see the nonsense which people are printing. Assam, history starts from Shankar Dev's arrival. Why? It should start from Harshvardhan. It should start from Pragjotishpur, Bhagadat, the one who launched Vaishnavastra at Arjun. Today Chitrangada is in Chakravyuh. In what I would say to, very simple, many people have told why this region we should bother that much. I will tell one thing. Okay, you bring more prosperous regions there. Can you bring back the historical sites? Can you bring back your ancestors' heritage? No, you cannot. This is about culture, civilization, much bigger than ethnicity, language, and petty politics. So I hope I will state this much only. Any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
ठीक, बढ़िया.
नमस्कार सबको. मैं ग्रुप कैप्टन बीएन शर्मा, रिटायर फ्रॉम इंडियन एयर फोर्स. After retirement, I thought I'll earn some money and do some job in USA. For that, I went there also. But after the crisis in Manipur, I could not stay there and I came back, and I'm giving my full time to the cause of the Meiteis, especially in Manipur. I believe he is Adityanath. I have spoken many times at telephone, but personally meeting for the first time. From his voice, I can understand he is a Vladimir Adityanath. Thanks a lot. He is always helpful, and I saw a lot of eminent personalities. I have seen all of you in the YouTube channels, and thank you for supporting the Meitei cause and the supporting Meitei. It's the background in the cause has been well explained by Vladimir ji. And now my focus will be what the Meiteis are presently facing and why the present rule is not able to give solution to the Meiteis. It's almost, it's more than 2 months, but nothing changed on the ground has happened. Meiteis are constitutionally denied. We do not have access to the national highways. We have 2 lifelines called National Highway number 2 and National Highway number 37, which is connecting Ziri and the Imphal. Jiribam is a small town in border next to Assam, and the one from Dimapur to Imphal. These are the 2 lifelines, and the Meiteis are not allowed to access these 2 national highways. So we are confined. In fact, it is a wrongful confinement of the Meiteis living in the Imphal Valley, which is approximately of 15 to 20 kilometers. The cookies, they check our identity. not all, everybody, if they found any Meitei is going into these roads, they will pull out and they will kill it. So fear is always there. So we do not travel, or no Meitei travels. And only people are poor generally. Rich are there, of course, the MLS, MPs, and some businessmen. They can afford. I'm a retired person, so I also can afford to travel by air. So we are traveling through years, and the poor peoples or middle class people, if they want to visit to Guwahati for their say medical requirements or giving exams, because most of the competitive exams they have to go to Guwahati because of this problem, existing problem. The center, the government, the central government, they are not giving exam center to Imphal because the other community may not be able to write. So they are giving the exam center as Guwahati or elsewhere. So people are not finding, or they are not able to afford the airfare. And on top of it, this aircraft operators, they have hiked the airfares. Earlier from Delhi to Imphal, it was about 4,500 to maximum 5,500 if you book well in advance. Now you cannot get an aircraft ticket not less than 11,000 or 11,500. If you plan well, you'll get sometime in 7,500 or 8,500. This is very costly. And on top of this, the goods, the Meitei goods are very difficult to send from anywhere to Imphal. So the aircraft, what they have done is they have stopped the luggage of normal that parcel facility, which costs around from Delhi to Imphal. I inquired about a month back. It was costing around 102 rupees, and including all the GST and other taxes, it was coming around 120 rupees per kg from Delhi to Imphal. Now they have stopped this, then they have put only the express services, which is amounting to around 200 rupees. So I don't know why the government of India, why they have put so much trouble despite the existing problems. And it's very surprised. In 2023, July 19th, and 2024 last year, about July 21st or so, two Meitei buses, the buses belong to the Meitei community, they were carrying CRPF personnel from Dimapur to Imphal, in a place where called Senapati, Kangpokpi, which is dominated by Kuki. All these armed CRPF people were deboarded, and the two buses, they were torched just because they belong to Meitei community. And all the security forces kept watching, which is very unfortunate. It should not be happening. And my complaint or my grievances is to the central government. They are doing nothing. The president rule is there for last two months. In March, the president rule was imposed on 13 February this year. And in 17 March, a boy who was traveling from Imphal to Bishnupur sector, which is within the Imphal West, Bishnupur district, which is well within the Meitei dominated community. He just happened to little deviated from the Meitei dominated places. He was missing and still he is not found. And I went and met the DGP Manipur and the security advisor. The way they talk is they are not much concerned. They are just doing their duties. And I asked, well, do you have CCTVs? Because for last 2 years, the problems are so much. You have unofficially defined a buffer zone, which Vladimir has said, which is unethical and illogical. And despite that, a hospital CCTV, which belongs to a private hospital, they have a video footage of that boy's car. And after that, there is a police station. They don't have CCTV footage. And after that, Assam Rifle is there. They also don't have CCTV footage. And the child is missing still. This is happened after the president rules. And also, on March 8th, the highways will be open. It was announced by Honorable Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah. But what had happened, I think most of you would have known it. At the same place called Kangpokpi, the one bus was well escorted by the police personnel and the other central security forces. They were attacked with stone from hilltop, and 27 of the security forces, BSF, CRPF personnel and police, they were injured. 3 of them were very critical condition. Still, and some of the Meiteis, they also wanted to travel, but they were stopped by the Manipur police on the way, say about traveling about 2-3 kilometers. So we are denied, the Meiteis are denied the basic constitutional rights, Article 19D, which we are supposed to roam freely all over India. So we are denied. And national highways, they are supposed to be protected by the central governments. There are so many laws, so many laws and I think National Highway Protection, then so many things. All are eminent, panelists and eminent people. They know better than me. So it's not a big thing. In Srinagar Highway, if they can be protected with road opening team by the CRPF or the armies, why this small stress of not less than 30, it's less than 30 kilometers. Why it cannot be protected by the security forces? It is not done. And on top of that, there are about 80,000 armed force personnel in Manipur, which they are supposed to provide a peaceful process, which they are not able to do it. And very surprising, they also draw a allowance called CI Ops allowance, counterintelligence ops allowance. Why so? I don't understand. The Meitei insurgencies, they all are under UEP 1967. This is there in MHA annual report from 1997 onwards. So right now, they are banned, and in 2005, the suspension of operation, that agreement, illegal agreement I'll call. How we can have an agreement with illegal armed force, illegal armed groups like Kuki. There are more than 25 of them. They are brought under suspension of operation by government of India, by government of Manipur, and this Kuki arms group. How it can happen? It is illegal. You cannot enter. The legal experts, they would be able to explain in a better way. It is an illegal agreement, but the government still go ahead, and they are paid 6,000 rupees a month to these terrorists. And no actions are taken, as Mr. Vladimir has said very clearly. If we can control this, if we abrogate this suspension of operation and curb this stipend, so-called stipend of 6,000 rupees, they will be firstly demoralized, and they can be booked under UAPA 1967, and the problem can be solved. But this Kuki armed group, what they say is, we never fire a single bullet to the armed forces. We are peace-loving people. If it is so, then why this suspension of operation is required? And most surprisingly, this agreement says the environmental security of this Kuki arms group will be given by the security forces of India. It's a very surprise. And these documents are out in the open domain. I can forward to anybody who's interested. Very, very surprising. Why you should protect a terrorist group? And in fact, their camps are maintained by the government of India, and they are just adjacent to these Assam Rifles camps. And this is very unfortunate. So we have been raising this voice for last 2 years. I was also not aware. After this crisis only, I did some research, some reading. Then only I came to know. I am sure our voice is not heard by the government of India. आप लोग pressure करेंगे, तो it is possible that government of India understand. And worst thing which I can never imagine is, I am from defense background. I do not want to demoralize or demean the armed forces of the army, but it is very sad, I have to say. The present chief of army staff, he said in an interview, national TV, the people coming from the Myanmar, they are poor people, so we welcome them. We will provide them food, shelter, and other facilities, which is very sad. And the same thing is not applicable to the Bangladeshis and the Pakistanis. Now I also don't want. I don't know neither Bangladeshis nor Pakistanis nor this Myanmaris illegal immigrants. So such statements also gives more pain. And the Kuki groups, the arms group, they are protected by the Assam Rifle and the armies, which many of the videos are in circulation where the Assam Rifle have blocked the Manipur police. And I have spoken to many of the, I have been staying in Imphal for last 6 months continuously. In between, I come to Delhi for my personal jobs. I have spoken to many police people. They said, we can finish this problem, but we are not allowed to enter their territory, or this army or Assam Rifle, they stop us. So that is the biggest problem. And the worst thing is, because of this buffer zone, many Meiteis, they have lands, that cultivable lands, we grow rice. Many acres, more than 5,000 of acres, they are in the hands of the Kukis. When they want to go and cultivate, the security forces stop it. When the Kukis come and illegally occupies this, cultivate these lands, they are not said anything. So this is these are some of the say alienation or discrimination against the Meitei. This is what I would like to say.
And with this, I would like to stop here. If any particular questions, I would be ready to answer. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. Thank you. Thank you.
Captain Sharma, one thing, identity is very important.
Yeah.
Unless you frame the problem in proper identity. Now, the moment you say Mithai, 99.99% of Hindus don't know that whether they are Hindus or they are not. Okay. The same problem with Kashmiri Pandits. They like to call them as Pandits but not as Hindus. Unless the Hindu Maithais have to frame, or you can call Hindu Maithais, because that's very, very important, and I have been saying that. Otherwise, no, the whole world would not know. This will be framed as a local conflict rather than an international conspiracy to destabilize and destroy Hindu civilization. Because Mithais are, after all, they are Vaishnavites, they are part of the Hindu civilization. Not from today, since Mahabharata and Ramayana and all those times. Okay.
Sir, I would like to say there is a small problem in this also. Identifying the Maithais or we, the people, originals, as Hindus, there is also a problem because of the political reasons which Vladimir has explained very briefly. The Vaishnavism or the Hindus are very high, say about 30 years back. But because of these political issues, the Sanamahis, they don't want to call them as a Hindu, or they don't want to be a part of Hindus.
Let us only confine to, see, we are only concerned with those people who want to identify themselves as Hindus.
And
Actually,
concerned with those people
actually,
who are not
yes.
identified.
sir, let me come to Madam Patai.
No,
Isme, sir, the problem here is the Sanamahi, I am a Hindu Brahmin, I am a Brahmin, I am a Hindu. The Sanamahism, what they call is a story which is similar to like Kartikeyan and Ganesha. The Sanamahi is the elder son and the Pakhangba is the younger son. In our Hindu story, it's Kartikeya is the elder son and the Ganesha is the similar story that say Parikrama of the seven. The similar thing happened. The Sanamahi become elder and so he went around this world, whereas Pakhangba with his knowledge, usne chakkar lagaya uska. That is the story behind it. But they don't consider it as a part of Hinduism, and the Sanamahi is worshipping each and every houses. Being a Hindu Brahmin, in my house also we have a place in that southwest corner is earmarked for Sanami, and we offer rose agarbatti jalate sham ko. And even the Maithai also do it. And this is known to everybody, but still the Sanamis, they don't want to call themselves Hindu. Then they will call it. However, we don't have any problem. We don't have any much of a hatter in the society. So this is turning Hindu, then many people will not like it.
Problem is how does a normal Hindu, who is in South India, who is in Rajasthan, who is in Maharashtra, know that Mithais are Hindus? So you have to frame it in that language which people understand, so that now you get support.
Yes, you are right, sir. And we are trying for last 2 years.
Yes. Dharma is part of Hinduism only, or it's the same, part of the same.
एमएनआर सर, हम लोग ये सब एक फिर वापस लेंगे. पुष्कर को भी बोलना है. We are 115. एक साथ ले लें.
Just completing the issue that see, one part is not identifying Hindus as Hindus, and therefore it looks like an ethnic war rather than Hindu-Christian or Hindu-Islami. Equally misleading is to call them Nagas or Kukis, because the fact of on the ground or its historical truth, once somebody becomes a Christian or a Muslim, no ethnic identity, no linguistic identity, no cultural civilizational identity is allowed to survive. So we should identify at least them as Christians so that it appears clearly to everybody that this is a Christian versus Hindu issue, not an ethnic issue. That's one part. The other thing, that you talked about, the role of the Assam Rifles. I traveled through Manipur some 3-4 years ago, and in many places I stayed with the Assam Rifles guest house and interacted with. The fact of the matter is, one, simple question I would ask, and they would all go berserk, senior army officers, which is, when the insurgency is church-backed, it is funded, it's politically, ideologically supported by them, how is it that you never ever search churches and counter them? The standard answer was, ma'am, you are being communal, they do such good works. These are senior army officers of Assam Rifles saying, education karte hain, health karte hain, without them, you know what the condition of these poor Northeast tribals would have been. They've been so brainwashed that they are really unfit to protect this thing, because they're protecting churches, they're protecting terror hideouts, they are protecting the church ideologues who are instigating this. So first, one part is what Nageshwarji said. Identify yourself clearly. And if today they feel upset, I think over time they will come this fold if they don't want to be Christianized. And if they want to be Christianized, then all the better, let them go that side. But equally or more important is to make it Christian versus Hindus. Because you remember, Vladimir, in the early programs I did on Manipur, nobody was willing to say they're Christian. I had to keep egging them on to say, and what's Kuki about them? What's Naga about them? What's XYZ about them? It's all church. And we should say it clearly. Unless we do that, we really have no future.
Absolutely right, madam. And we have two factions of, faces in this information warfare. As sir, you have rightly said, outside Manipur, we do what as a Hindu? We project as a Hindu image. Like we communicate with many Hindu organizations, like Akhil Bharat Hindu Mahasabha is one of them. And we, as a Hindu, we approach them and to help us. And in the homeland, it is difficult, as I said, because if we project only for Hindus, then we fracture our mandate. That is the second part. And thirdly, Hindu versus Christian, it becomes little difficult, madam. Many Christians are Meitei converted Christians. So they are also troubled by these cookies. Their houses have been burned. Their churches have been burned by the cookies. So when we bring into... So that becomes then their suffering and their contribution becomes a little sidelined. So that becomes, and most of the CSOs in the Manipur, I am not very active and I am not a well-faced in Manipur among these CSOs. So my idea will not sell through, but they want to say that it's Meitei versus this thing, cookies. And again, secondly,
church.
No, not only Meitei CSOs are there, and secondly,
church funded.
Yes, church funded.
So,
definitely. And in this, one church, the Naga groups, they are little sidelined. They remain as neutral as possible. They are also church. The moment we term them as Christian versus Hindus, then the Naga also occupies a lot of our lifeline in other sectors. So that becomes our problem. Like unofficially, when this Arambai Tengols or the village volunteer, they fight with this Kuki arms group, they have to get their the bullets. It's an open fact, everybody knows it, but it's unofficial still. It's hard from many people. So we need to, this volunteer need to bullets. Who supplies it? The Nagas, the NSCNs. So they buy bullets, each bullet for 300 rupees. So this, again, this supply will be a problem where the Assam Rifles and the armies, they are not helping. The Manipur police, they are blocked by the central security forces. So when they fire, it's under the cover of Assam Rifle or army. When you want to retaliate, when our boys do not have the weapons, then this is a problem. So again, absolute division of Christian versus Hindu would be a tactical problem for us right now.
Point take.
If you have just 1 minute. So the only real way, this has been discussed about with many groups. This is a discussion which had been had throughout Northeast. The only real conclusion which came out of this is that we have to first do the field work and create common cultural and civilizational values to be the most supreme thing. This is the only conclusion which came out. And second thing which conclusion came out is that we have to show the examples of Bangladesh, as the failure of linguistic politics, and we have to show the example of Africa as the price of surrendering. What happens when you surrender to church? Surrender to Islam is worldwide present. So, and also one more thing which can help this thing is providing justice in a couple of specific cases. One case I would like to say, one 8-year-old girl, Thamna Pokpi, 2024 this happened, not during the initial weeks of violence, after everything was known. She was kidnapped by Kukis from Jiribam near Assam-Manipur border, and she was gang raped until her pelvic bones were shattered. Her post-mortem report was hidden for days. The bodies of her 5 women family members, dating from days to 60 years old, in horrible conditions, mutilated, were found floating in the Borak River, forming the barrier between Assam and Manipur. This case was not only suppressed, actively efforts were made to distort post-mortem and hide the real truth in this matter. The post-mortem data were not made available for days and weeks. The family, Hirojit ji, they were made, he was just like blank. The Churachandpur victims, I talked with them. One of them, it still haunts me. He told me one time, Ji, what do I teach my son? I have lost my culture. You keep telling cultural and civilizational values, but everything is lost. Everything is dust. What do I teach them? If these cases, intellectual support in second case and justice in first or second cases can be given, this will sway a lot of people. See, in a society, there are people in balanced sector where they believe in coexistence, and there are extremists on both sides. So this balanced sector can be approached only through these two ways. It will take time, but I think that is the only viable way. Thank you.
I think ये सब जितने भी समस्याएं हैं और वो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस कर ली, जान ली, और ये अंतहीन है. इंडिविजुअल केसेस, ग्रुप केसेस, वी कैन डिस्कस एड नॉशियम. अंतहीन है, इसका कोई अंत नहीं है. जो दूसरा पक्ष है, हमें संघ का जो हिंदू राष्ट्र और आज हम हिंदू अधिनायकवाद के समय में विश्वगुरु बने हैं, तो तब भी ये क्यों हो रहा है, इसके बेसिस में क्या है, वो हम थोड़ा बहुत जान ले. मे भी 10 मिनट पुष्कल आप हमें दे दीजिए, थोड़ा इस बारे में आप बताइएगा. इन सब चीजों को जानने के बाद हम आगे का रास्ता फिर शाम को या कभी बैठेंगे तो फिर इसके आगे का क्या रास्ता है, क्योंकि कंटिन्यूस हम लोगों का रोना धोना चल रहा है, लेकिन उसके आगे का सोल्यूशन पे भी हमें अब आगे ध्यान देना है. तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट पुष्कल कि आप आइए. और संघ जो है, राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ, इसका एक इतिहास है. 1925 में इसकी स्थापना हुई और ये 100 वर्ष होने जा रहा है. विजयदशमी के दिन इसकी स्थापना हुई थी. तो जो शताब्दी वर्ष है उसी में इट इज बीइंग अनरिवील्ड आल्सो. ऐसा पिछले 100 वर्ष, आप बैठ जाइए प्लीज, 100 वर्ष में नहीं हुआ कि हमें पता कोई बोले कि संघ इज एंटी हिंदू, बट दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट वी आर increasing number of voices are saying कि संघ is anti-Hindu. It is a force of destruction of Hindus. तो why is it so? Maybe we can go into history and look into it कि क्या हुआ था, कब, कैसे. तो पुष्कल जी आप प्लीज.